Welcome to my introduction on Bitcoin self-custody, where we will explore the responsibilities, challenges, and best practices involved. In this video, I'll discuss why self-custody matters, the individual factors to consider, the responsibilities it entails, the risks and challenges you may encounter, and the best practices for managing them. Keeping your bitcoins on exchanges puts you in a similar position as relying on traditional banks. Just like a bank can censor your transactions or freeze your account, exchanges can do the same with your bitcoins. History has shown that there's also the risk of losing your bitcoins entirely if the exchange is hacked or becomes insolvent. In the Bitcoin community, there's a saying, "Not your keys, not your coins." This means that without direct control of your private keys, you don't truly own your bitcoins. Taking self-custody eliminates third-party risks, enables you to perform peer-to-peer censorship-resistant transactions, and ensures full sovereignty over your bitcoins. This means no one is able to censor your transactions or freeze or confiscate your coins. Holding your private keys empowers you to take full control and become your own bank. Every Bitcoiner has unique needs and security requirements when it comes to self-custody. These personal factors must be considered when setting up a self-custody wallet to ensure the best solution for their requirements. Let's take a closer look at three individuals, each with a different financial situation and circumstances. On the left, we have Ethan, a 21-year-old student who has invested $2,000 of his savings into Bitcoin. Next is Michael, a 35-year-old web developer and digital nomad. He works remotely and has been saving his earnings in Bitcoin, now holding $50,000 worth. Finally, we have Richard, a 62-year-old retiree married with 3 children. He has invested a significant portion of his life savings in Bitcoin, totaling $250,000. As we can see, these 3 Bitcoiners live very different lives and hold vastly different amounts of Bitcoin. Their security needs and self-custody requirements vary depending on their unique circumstances and the size of their holdings. Therefore, their self-custody solutions should be tailored to fit their specific needs, ensuring the right setup for both security and personal requirements. We also need to acknowledge that a Bitcoiner's circumstances will change over time. And with that, their self-custody setups must evolve. Additionally, fluctuations in Bitcoin's price may affect security requirements. After a few years of hodling, it's essential to reassess whether your setup still aligns with the value of your Bitcoin stack. Now, let's explore the different wallet setups our 3 Bitcoiners have chosen based on their individual needs. First, we have Ethan, a beginner. He opted for a straightforward setup with a single signature wallet secured by a trusted hardware device. He has backed up his seed phrase in a secure location, ensuring basic but solid protection for his $2,000 investment. Next, Michael has chosen an intermediate setup. He also uses a single signature wallet and a trusted hardware device, but has taken additional steps. He has backed up his seed phrase in multiple, geographically distinct locations for added security. Michael also uses a passphrase along with a seed phrase, providing an extra layer of protection. Finally, Richard, with his larger Bitcoin holdings, has implemented an advanced setup. He uses a multi-signature wallet with different hardware wallets securing each seed phrase. His seed phrases are backed up across geographically distinct locations. In addition, Richard runs his own Bitcoin node to verify transactions independently. He has also carefully planned for inheritance to ensure his wealth is passed on securely. Each of these setups reflects the unique security needs and experience levels of our three Bitcoiners. In the following slides, we will explore the risks and challenges of Bitcoin self-custody, along with the best practices for managing them. Please remember that these risks and the appropriate strategies to address them will vary based on your individual circumstances. Holding your private keys empowers you to take full control and become your own bank. But it comes with new responsibilities. You're responsible for securely storing your Bitcoin and safeguarding it from various threats. Self-custody requires defending against cyber attacks, physical threats, and other risks that banks traditionally handle. Additionally, ensuring the security and accessibility of your backups is critical. It's important to plan for inheritance, ensuring your Bitcoin can be passed on to your family and loved ones securely. In the following slides, we will explore the risks and challenges of Bitcoin self-custody, along with best practices for managing them. Please remember that these risks and the appropriate strategies to address them will vary based on your individual circumstances. Secure backups are important. If you lose your private keys or seed phrase, you'll lose access to your funds permanently. Cybersecurity risks. Self-custody requires implementing robust security measures to protect against cyber attacks, phishing scams, and malware. Physical threats. Physical devices like hardware wallets can be lost, stolen, or damaged. This requires users to take precautions in storing their wallets securely. Also, we have to consider the risk of coercion. Privacy considerations. Self-custody also involves safeguarding your privacy, as Bitcoin transactions are transparent. Without careful management, you could expose sensitive information about your holdings, compromising both security and anonymity. Inheritance planning. Self-custody necessitates planning for the transfer of assets in the event of death or incapacity, ensuring that beneficiaries can access the funds. Knowledge. Many Bitcoiners lack the technical knowledge necessary for secure self-custody. Misconfigurations or poor practices can lead to vulnerabilities, and insufficient knowledge may make them victims of social engineering attacks. Let's talk about secure backups. First, we have to avoid losing access to our seed phrases. To achieve this, you can store them in multiple secure locations for redundancy. It's best to choose geographically and politically distinct locations for securing your seed phrases. For example, if a natural disaster affects a certain area or political tensions in a country prevent you from accessing your seed phrases in that region, having backups in different locations ensures that you can still access your wallet. Also, you want to prevent others from gaining access to your seed phrases. Choose trusted individuals or reputable organizations to securely store your seed phrases. Using tamper-evident packing will help you detect if a seed phrase has been compromised. It's also good practice to use passphrases in conjunction with seed phrases, so even if someone malicious gains access to your seed phrase, they cannot access your funds without knowing your passphrase. Now, let's take a look at cybersecurity risks. It's crucial to protect against cyber attacks and malware. Personal computers and smartphones are at high risk of being targeted by hackers and malware. Therefore, it's not advisable to store private keys for Bitcoin wallets on an internet-connected device. The risk of an attack and loss of funds is simply too high. For this reason, it's best practice to use a cold wallet, which is a wallet that is not connected to the internet. To manage a cold wallet, we rely on trusted hardware devices. There are several options available, such as Trezor, Coldcard, or SeedSigner, to name a few. There is also the risk of a supply chain attack targeting a manufacturer of a hardware wallet, or the possibility of a hardware wallet having a zero-day vulnerability. A zero-day vulnerability is a bug in the device that has not been yet discovered, but could be exploited in the future to gain access to it. While the risk of this kind of attack is likely much lower than attacks against a standard PC, it's still something to consider, especially when storing larger sums on a hardware device. You can reduce the risk of this type of attack by using multiple hardware wallets from different manufacturers in combination with a multi-signature wallet. The idea is that the chances of multiple devices from different manufacturers being compromised are significantly lower than the risk of a single device being compromised. Lastly, we have the evil mate attack. What's the evil mate attack? It refers to an attack on an unattended device where an attacker with physical access alters the device in some undetectable way, allowing them to later gain access to it or to the data stored on it. This could result in the attacker obtaining your private keys. To defend against an evil mate attack, you can use tamper-evident packing for your hardware devices. This helps you detect if someone has gained physical access to the device, allowing you to take action accordingly. Physical threats. Another risk is theft. Someone could steal your hardware wallet or seed phrase. To mitigate this, only store your private keys on hardware devices that have a secure element, which prevents the thief from accessing the keys of the wallet if it's stolen. Additionally, always protect your hardware wallet with a secure PIN. To protect your seed phrase, use a passphrase along with it. This way, even if the seed phrase is stolen, the thief won't be able to access your funds without knowing the passphrase. Then there is the risk of coercion, also known as the $5 wrench attack. In this scenario, someone uses physical violence or the threat of it, such as using a $5 wrench, to coerce you into giving them access to your wallet by entering the PIN in your hardware device or handing over your seed phrase and passphrase. One possible defense against this type of attack is to set up a decoy wallet that you can hand over during an attack. For instance, you can store a small amount of Bitcoin in a wallet tied to your plain seed phrase, while hiding your real wallet behind a passphrase. A decoy wallet may work against an attacker who is inexperienced in dealing with Bitcoin wallets, but a more knowledgeable attacker might recognize this tactic as it's a well-known method. A more sophisticated security setup involves creating a situation where you cannot easily access your funds yourself. For example, you could store your seed phrases in a location that requires you to physically pass through high security measures, such as a bank's safe security box, or even in another country that requires a flight to reach. This way, you can leverage the bank's or airport security protocols to protect yourself from physical coercion. Now, let's take a look at privacy considerations. Privacy is a challenge that is often overlooked, but leaked or stolen data can be obtained on the dark web and used for attacks like social engineering, scams, or worse. For example, in July 2020, Ledger's e-commerce database was hacked. According to Ledger, the attacker was able to obtain approximately 1 million email addresses, and an additional 9,500 customers had sensitive information exposed, including their first and last names, postal addresses, phone numbers, and details of their purchases. Ledger is a well-known hardware wallet manufacturer, and with this leaked information, its customers have since been targeted by scammers attempting to steal their Bitcoin. The availability of physical addresses also raises concerns about the potential for future physical attacks. This ledger data breach highlights the critical importance of privacy, especially in the realm of Bitcoin. To protect your privacy, it's recommended to buy KYC-free Bitcoin, avoid reusing Bitcoin addresses, and run your own Bitcoin node. Let's talk about inheritance planning. It's crucial to plan for inheritance to ensure your family can access your Bitcoin wallet in the event of death or incapacity. One option is to set up a multi-signature wallet. You can arrange for your family's access by involving a trusted attorney, appointing a personal representative, or securely storing your wallet information in a safe deposit box. Another challenge in self-custody is knowledge. Many Bitcoiners lack the technical understanding required for secure self-custody, and misconfigurations or poor practices can create vulnerabilities. While hardware wallets make it easier to set up a cold wallet and protect against most cyber attacks, there are still many risks and challenges beyond cybersecurity, especially when handling a significant investment in Bitcoin. It's essential to educate yourself on best practices for securely storing your coins, and to continuously update your knowledge. Avoid costly mistakes, follow best practices. Here's a summary of the most important best practices. The first is to set up a cold wallet utilizing a trusted hardware wallet. Next, securely backup your seed phrase. Make use of a passphrase. Use tamper-evident packing for hardware device and seed phrase. More advanced best practices are setting up a multi-signature wallet, using hardware wallets from different manufacturers, and running your own Bitcoin node. And last but not least, educate yourself and keep your knowledge current. This is a crucial best practice for staying safe in the long term. For more educational content on Bitcoin self-custody, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Bitcoin Unlocked, and visit our website at bitcoinsolutions.agency. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or reach out to us directly through our website. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give a thumbs up.